3, 2, and... What's up, everyone?
What's going on?
Shane here.
Mason.
That's Mason.
I am Mason.
That was really exciting.
The Mason.
The Mason. We're coming to you with some floating tips and tricks. Tips and tricks to enjoy your experience, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been through this.
Yeah.
Does this feel oddly repetitious?
Sort of.
Did we just do this?
Sorry for the late broadcast. That was my bad. I was running a little late. There was a wreck, too. So
I wasn't late, but the person in charge was late.
not in charge. Well, Mason, do you want to tell us more about this episode?
I guess. Yeah, so today we're going to be sharing some tips and tricks on how to make your float more enjoyable, how to make the experience of prepping for the float more enjoyable and easier.
We have some user-submitted ones, too. That's really cool.
Yeah.
As normal, if you have any comments, leave them in the box, and we'll, even if it's not live, we'll still reply. So we're super helpful that way.
Yeah.
Should we dive in?
Who's going first?
Will.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. Well, first, I mean, I'd like to thank the people out there for watching, and I'd like to back up exactly what Shane said. It's really beneficial for us to hear your comments, because it makes our experience that much better as a floating company, but two, it really helps us benefit the consumer and the audience out there, because we really get to spread, your message and your tips out there.
Big time.
So as far as at-home tips, we want to make sure, and I'll have Mason elaborate a little bit on this, but make sure at least 24 hours before you make sure that your water is up to temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check that out for sure.
Yeah. You want me to go into it a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean the temperature can be adjusted on the tent up to 0.5 degrees at a time. So you want to make sure that if you like it a little bit cooler, a little bit warmer, you make sure it's at the set temperature that you set it at.
So it's also nice keeping, some people warm up their room a little, which I think makes for a better experience.
Really?
That'd be the time to, yeah, because when you warm up the room, you get a natural chimney effect in the tank.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So there's air that comes in, and then the hotter stuff goes out. But when you warm up your room, the stuff that comes in, you can't feel if it's warm. So that's just one of my pro tips personally. Pro tip.
Now, where do you recommend for your water? You like it a little cooler, don't you, Shane?
Yeah, I'm hot-blooded. I think I'm 92.5. And I put the air. I just have a space heater in the room. Used to, actually.
It's too cold.
Too cold? And I go 77 on the space heater. We'll have to heat this room's air too.
Yeah, too cold. 93.5 or nothing.
All right.
93.5 is totally typical.
I'm like that's yeah.
Some really lean people, women, they keep it warmer because they don't keep heat as well. So that's an option too, which is cool because you can tune your tank to match whatever you are, which is actually an awesome thing. Not that float centers don't get as close as they can, but if you do like that variance in temperature, it's super easy with your own tank.
Yeah, I mean, I know that some centers keep one tank warmer than the other so that they can accommodate for most people.
That's smart.
And yeah, it's smart, but if you book an appointment and you get this room that's warmer and you like it a little bit cooler, you could be having not as great of a float.
I've had that happen, yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice to be able to control the temperature.
So would you recommend that they let the centers know that if you're booking a little cooler float?
Ooh, if the centers can do that, that'd be really cool.
If they can change it, I mean, you might have to wait, for the temperature to drop, but
float center owners are so accommodating, they would do anything they could possibly do to help get that right.
yeah.
What's cool is for your own tank, though, you just dial it in, which is cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So, turning off pumps.
Yeah,
Do that.
Yeah, do that.
And that covers that topic. No, a lot of people actually didn't realize, so the pumps are submersible, underwater, and they actually have a UV light, so they put out some light. And some people didn't realize you got to turn them off when you float with the Zen Float tent. So, we have a little switch. You'll just hit the switch and then hop in, and you won't have any pump noise, and you won't have any UV light happening. So be sure and turn off your pumps when you float. And that kind of covers another one. Be sure you turn them on as soon as you're done floating, because our filtration system is designed to be super efficient, and it's slower than a commercial cleaning system. So you want to have it running all the time when you're not floating. Did I nail that one?
Sort of. If you don't want to get your hair sucked up in the pump, turn it off.
Oh,
Good one. Good tip.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
If you don't want to get out of the tent with a bald spot, then turn it
Dude,
off.
is that what happened? Oh my
He
god.
left his on.
Yep, that's what happened.
Don't leave.
Don't be like Shane.
Yeah, 1 month ago he had dreadies. You can check the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Catch me outside.
Okay, so the next one is to put a towel inside the tent on. You can hang it from one of the D-rings.
It's a good one.
It's pretty important. I mean, you don't see it too often at the centers, but with the tent here.
Centers, I've seen it a lot more.
Inside?
It's like that pro tip went around. Yeah.
Inside?
Yeah,
Like the
swear to God.
No way.
I swear to God.
All right.
Yeah. I'm an avid center user too. So.
So with the towel then, I mean, would you recommend that someone doesn't touch their face? I mean, kind of keep away from that entirely?
Even the creases by your eyes, if you get that started, it can kind of wick up into your eyes. You don't want salt water anywhere near your eyes.
Yeah, it's just
Your
a bad
flow.
idea.
Yeah, it's bad. So
So what about maybe a spray bottle?
spray bottle, they do that too. I see a lot of spray bottles and you can just spray off your face.
Okay,
With
Want
salt.
me to reenact that? Spray off your face.
that's a nice job. And the Emmy goes too.
Sorry, Mason. Here, you can have this.
Can we just go back to me by myself?
So here's a big one. Oh, so here's a big one.
Yeah.
We've got always shower beforehand.
Oh,
Oh.
my God.
Always shower beforehand. Can you
Yeah.
go into some more detail about that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even if you had just showered that morning or that evening, you're still going to have oil on your skin or hair that might fall out really easily or some dead skin cells. So you want to just make sure to scrub all that away before you get in there, just to maintain the cleanliness of your water. It's less work in the long run, and your water will last a lot longer. So that's more of like a maintenance thing, but
Totally. It makes a huge difference.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
shower every time before you get in.
Yeah, it's key.
And wash that hair out too. We don't want gels and hairsprays in your water.
Yeah.
Because you can leave residue on your water. So
Now, would you recommend showering after?
for sure, you're gonna look
Yeah.
like a powdered donut.
Yeah, you
if
really
you don't.
will.
And
Really will.
if you don't use earplugs, be sure and let the shower kind of spray in your ear to get salt off your eardrums. A lot of people go floating their first time, and then they you can hear the salt on your eardrum. It just
Yeah,
kinda
it's like
coats
you
it.
have a cold or something.
Yeah, like you yawn. It's like
Mine was there for days. Yep.
so use earplugs,
Always use
and if you don't use earplugs, then just rinse them out. You'll only forget one time, and then you'll remember the rest of your life.
If you don't use earplugs, use underwater earbuds.
Ooh,
So.
where could we get some underwater earbuds?
Wow. You know, I think we have. I can't even do it, dude. We do have headphones available. They have a 9-foot cord. They are underwaterable. Underwaterable.
I hope we get comments about that.
We can make up words.
That is a word, I think.
They're pretty
Okay.
sweet. 'Cause then you
In
can,
my dictionary, it's a word.
Let's see what
he's
close
got
up.
his own dictionary.
Anyway.
What's cool, I mean, you have your iPod outside of your tank or whatever you use. Throw on whatever you listen to, or better yet, we have a floating meditation. We'll post a link to that, and it'll kind of guide you through floating, which is really awesome too.
Yeah.
I love guided meditations.
And now, what's her name? Who does our meditation?
Karen Leonard. She is awesome. When I
voice
hear
of
her
an
voice,
angel.
it's like liquid butter. It's just like, yeah. But,
Liquid
so you should
butter.
try it out.
If
I
you
love
want butter in your ears, download that.
So moving on.
Let's do that.
Now, what about distractions at home?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people with tents at home, they live with other people, so you just want to make sure to let them know and just give them a heads up that you'll be in there.
Put the dogs in the bathroom.
Yeah.
No dogs, you'll hear dogs.
If you need to schedule your float around, maybe float early in the morning or late at night when the kids go to bed.
For show.
Just try and plan around it.
Yeah, I mean, float centers, they intentionally keep it quiet because some sounds just get through anything. So, yeah, you don't want people walking around and thudding and stomping. And
It's a big misconception that the commercial tanks are completely soundproof.
no way.
They definitely aren't. So.
I mean, they have more insulation, but float centers are quiet for a
Yeah.
reason. You need that quiet space.
Yep.
Nice one, bro.
You're up, dude.
You totally, oh,
How about a
crap.
timer?
Float timer?
Yeah, setting a timer.
Yeah, I guess honestly the best floats are if you don't have to have a timer and you get in and you get out whenever, but if you like to have a timer, I guess that'd be a cool thing.
If you're on the go and you're a busy person and you
Yeah.
need to have...
If you have a job and you're floating in the morning,
Well, when I was doing research about this, we had some people that said, you know, a lot of times people just get lost in their flow. I mean, which is fantastic. That's really gaining. I mean, that's hitting what we're wanting.
yeah.
But at that moment, set a timer. If you you're like, okay, I need to be somewhere in 2 hours.
Dude, float tanks are like a time warp too. Like I've had tank sessions that I thought were really long and they were like 40 minutes, and I've had tank sessions where I thought they were really short and they're a couple hours. So there's definite time warp when your mind starts kind of clocking out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would set a timer, even like this is my maximum length timer, and then you get out when it's comfortable. It's a good idea.
Recommend it.
Now, is there a certain time that you'd recommend for a first float?
Man, centers go an hour, and honestly, first time floaters and early floaters, an hour is plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your?
Hour and a half.
Yeah, me too.
I'm on the hour and a half kick.
Me too.
So
Hour 30.
yeah, but you want to know what it's getting popular too is long floats, 2, 3. There's centers that book overnight.
There are
Yeah.
people that come and sleep.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
There's
places
people that
sleep.
sleep in their float tent too, or I guess use it overnight.
They say you don't have to sleep as long. Like 4 hours is equivalent to like 9 hours of sleep or something
It's
like that.
got to be super theta. Just
Yeah,
it's got to be great sleep. I can't totally fall asleep in a float tank, but a lot of people do.
I never have.
If you fall asleep in a float tank, nothing will go wrong. Like you cannot help but float. So unless it's like rolling over, but I've never even heard of that.
If you roll over and don't wake up, then you probably shouldn't be in a tank.
Well, at that moment, I think I'd recommend a Halo.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can use
yeah,
it.
yeah.
now.
The
Yeah,
float
shout
is
out to Halo.
Yeah, I think I can run and snag one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bam! Take it, Mason.
Take it.
Let's talk about intentions with your float.
Yeah, it's always good to set an intention or a goal, something you want to achieve before you float, whether it's the goal of relaxation, some sort of meditation, or like setting a visualization before you float. If there's something you're working on at work, you can kind of visualize what you need to do to solve the problem, or some sort of sports visualization to help you achieve your goal. So it'll make your floats more enjoyable and more meaningful. So I definitely recommend it.
Go ahead and explain what you're wearing.
Yeah. So this is the Float Ease Halo. These are actually really cool, and they go like this. They don't go like this. It just gives you that little extra support. My wife, when she floats, her head sinks down because of the hair, I'm guessing. Just a lot of hair. So extra support would be perfect for that. And you actually hear that. You hear that like people can't get their neck comfortable.
Yeah.
This would be like the perfect fix. So shout out Floaties Halo.
And it's really easy to carry, half an inch.
Yeah.
No, it weighs nothing.
Perfect.
So, what about you, Shane? And I'd like to talk about personal things that you've wanted to work on when you went into the
Better
tent.
take that off before you answer.
I like how I'm very serious over here. I probably shouldn't be.
No. I like
What about intentions? I mean, things that you work on when you go floating.
Intentions are awesome, and I do them a lot. Sometimes I'm intending to go in and clock out and meditate, and I do my counting backwards thing, where I go, I'm really going to figure this issue out, and I even like the intentions, I will have it figured out when the float is over. But here's the one catch with intentions, and I did this. I did exactly what I say not to do. So an intention is good for a bit, but if your float doesn't want to do what you intended, I would let it go. Because I fought it one time. I was like, I'm clocking out, turn off the brain, too much to think about. And I spent 15, 20 minutes just being like, 98, damn it, 98, 97. And
Been there.
I ended up being like, screw it, I'm not going to fight this float. It's a thinking float. And I thought, and I had some big breakthroughs because I had something stressful going on in my life. So yeah, set an intention, but don't like be crazy committed where you're pissed off at the end of the float.
Yeah.
I'd let it ride a little.
Don't be stubborn.
Yeah.
So we did cover a towel inside. What about a towel outside?
Yeah, you definitely need one.
Have one ready.
Yeah, I would have it as close to the tent as possible.
Yeah, so you can reach it from the drip mat.
Yeah, from the drip mat, or you can get like a bath mat and lay it at the foot of the tent. And just
That's
step
cool,
out
too.
onto that and just reach for your towel.
Yeah. Salt water leaves residue, so just plan on if you're going to get stuff wet in the room, it's going to have a little salty residue.
Yeah.
Vinegar cleans up salt residue way good. Not.
Let's be more specific about this.
So I cleaned our whole floor with apple cider vinegar, pretty potent stuff.
Did a dilution
No.
of 50-50.
Yeah.
I think I diluted a little. It was painful.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is no research, just got the first bottle of vinegar he found on the shelf.
At the dollar store.
At the dollar store, which
This is how I do everything, though. I just crash through it one time, and then I remember it forever.
Yep.
You saw my soldering skills?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's for another day.
So note to self: dilute your vinegar.
Don't get apple cider and dilute it.
Get,
Yeah.
Yeah, the clear stuff.
Yeah, white vinegar works perfectly.
Bam. And it removes residue. Awesome.
And then, quick recommendation: when you get out, do not forget to turn your pumps back on.
Yeah, turn the pumps on as soon as possible.
Always want them running, especially if you're at home floating. You know, if you're at a center, no worries there. That's their responsibility. Now, really quick, let's talk about the Feels Like Floating.
Yeah. Feels Like Floating is cool if you want to get the feeling of a meditation habit. So we call it Feels Like Floating. You're never going to find floating unless you're in a float tank. There's just too many things that a float tank does. But if you want to get a meditation practice and a relaxation practice in your home, in your bathtub, we have a Feels Like Floating package. You get headphones, you get salt, you get a guide, the guided meditation, earbuds. Did I say that? Either way, we
And a book.
Yeah, and the book. So you get excited about floating, and you take a couple weeks on just a relaxation schedule that we kind of designed, and it feels like floating. Kind of, you feel the meditational aspects, and it usually gets you really excited to get floating too. So check out the Feels Like Floating. It was listed at $39. I think we're reducing it a little.
Yeah,
Get some more out. It's really cool, honestly.
Yeah.
And now, what we have now are some of the comments that were left on our page.
These are cool. I was
So,
reading these.
yeah, Mace, if you want to start off, do you want to read some of these out?
Yeah,
I know
sure.
one of them.
No cheating.
Look what I have. No cheating.
Okay, so the first one says leave your expectations in the shower,
Bam.
and that is by Nicholas. How do you say it? Treach.
Yeah, I like that.
Sorry if I butchered your name.
No, I think you got it pretty close.
Um,
That's true, though. I mean, even
Yeah.
if you have an intention, short-lived, try and
Yeah.
do what you want to do, but don't.
and I could take this
Don't force
before or at pre or post float.
Getting deep. Super meta, bro.
Yeah, very meta. Wait,
I'm learning
we should add a
awesome
counter
lingo.
to the Facebook Live to see how many times Shane does this during.
5.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think we're on 9 now.
Do I got the next one?
Yeah.
All right. Benny Kong says, let go and surrender to what happens next. That's right along the lines of intentions, and maybe not too many intentions at times.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got a long one, dude. Can you read all of this?
Well, we'll see, won't we?
I thought this one was fun.
Okay, so it says no shaving of any kind prior to.
Oh.
Let's just stop there and we'll digest this part.
Okay.
So, any experiences?
Yeah. Seriously, I've shaved and floated, and it's just like if you
It's not great.
threw something on after a shave. So, yeah, shave at least a day in advance
Yeah.
if you're gonna do it.
The next part of this says I don't consume any fluids an hour prior and make sure I go to the bathroom just before getting in, regardless.
Great one.
Yeah.
That's an awesome pro tip. Thanks. I'll read who it is, but
Yeah, I don't. I mean, sometimes when you go to a center, they'll offer you like a bottle of water or tea or something, and I always just say I'm good. And then the last part of it is, and for me, I also don't consume any food at least 2 hours prior. That works for me. And that was by Joe Roberts.
awesome one. I'll even expand on that a little. So if you eat before you go float like a lot, if it's just a little snack, you're probably cool. If you eat a lot, you're gonna hear digestion, possibly, especially if you don't have plugs in. And another thing is cut the caffeine too. I suppose you could you could think float on caffeine, but I've found caffeine, you're just too ramped up to really settle in.
It makes the floats feel a lot longer.
Yeah, because time's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and also drinking does not work in a float tank. I fully experimented on that one, and it's just stupid.
So I
don't
always
drink
thought that where it says don't eat,
Yeah.
I thought that was good so you don't sink. But apparently I was not.
No,
Just kidding.
that was a rule you had as a child.
Wow, you got a really long one.
Whoa, all right. Trust.
This is what he's like all day.
Trust the Water by Donovan Swanepoel.
Nice job.
That's awesome. These are like super like meta.
Really great.
They're meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
They're
explain.
pretty lit. Lit?
That they are.
We're just giving Mason a bad time over here.
Mason has
I
lingo
see.
that we don't even know about.
No.
Yeah.
Gucci, bro. Go on.
Oh.
Just an insider. He says Gucci a lot. We're just putting that out there.
Okay, so the next one.
You got a long one again. Oh,
No.
I know her. She's awesome.
You want to take it?
I'll take her name.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. So this quote says, surrender your body by relaxing every muscle and letting the water take all of your weight, especially around your neck and shoulders. Feel that you are fully supported. Surrender your mind by allowing thoughts and memories to drift through like clouds without expectation, resistance, or attachment.
This is my buddy,
Very good. Very good.
Michelle Lang. It might be Lange. She's just Michelle. But thanks for that one. That one's awesome.
Shout out.
Ooh, Lynn Taylor. We
Love Lynn.
know Lynn Taylor. So maybe I shouldn't go into her story much, but Lynn Taylor has battled fibromyalgia, and the floating is crucial for her pain management. She says, "No expectations. Everyone is different. Don't take anything in but curiosity and a sense of wonder at the prospect of feeling weightless bliss." Bam.
Lynn Taylor, we've known for years.
Yeah, we actually have a blog post on Lynn that we'll post up. That's really cool. I think it's one of our most popular blog pieces.
Yeah.
It's great.
She has a lot of hours in the tank. So.
Yeah, a lot.
So we did get a comment from Jason George, and he says, "I always say it's amazing how deep one can go in such shallow water."
Bam, that's awesome. That's a keeper.
Yeah.
Capturing the experience.
Yeah, that's a definite keeper.
You think you can come up with one right now?
Yeah, floating is so meta.
Dude, that was the worst thing I've ever heard.
Okay, now your turn.
No, I don't have one.
Okay. I totally came up with that on the spot.
So for those of you that are watching out there, we would love to hear all your tips, all your tricks, if you've had any successes or breakthroughs inside of, at a center, at home, in your own float tent. This is feedback that's just crucial for us, and we can pass it on. We'll give you a shout out on one of our lives, and
Yeah.
we watch this throughout the week.
Yeah.
For sure. Hey, and if you've never floated, even just give a shout out where you're watching from. That's always cool.
I think we should do a giveaway.
Yeah?
All right.
Man, what'd you have in mind?
Well, you showed
I'm
headphones.
proposing a giveaway of headphones. So, if you have a tent and you don't have headphones yet, leave a comment, and throughout the week, we'll check it until next Wednesday.
Ooh, you are making this on the fly.
Yeah, on the
This is
fly.
dope. 6 rocks. Bam.
So yeah, we'll check it throughout the week, and then we'll just choose a random comment, and we'll send you out a pair of headphones.
I like that.
Sweet.
All right, go float.
This has
Go
been a
float.
cool one. I like this one.
Yeah, I like it too.
Good and casual.
Adios.
See you later.